Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the channel. I really appreciate it. Hey, today we're going to take this pallet wood. I'm going to turn it into this sweet bench. Let's go check it out, see how we did it. All right, first up, I'm finding and marking all the blemishes, the cracks, the nail holes, any of the mystery stains, and then I cut them all off. Once I got the boards all cleaned up, I used my table saw extension jig. Hey, you should watch that video after this one. And I put on one good edge, and then I rip them all down to their final width of 3 inches. So now all the boards are milled to 1x3s. Then I run everything through the wood shaver to clean up the faces, giving the old boards a fresh look, so they feel better about themselves. All right, guys, I'm going to be honest. I never made those kind of joints right there before, especially a long 45 cut like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, that worked out real nice. Here's the other side. That's awesome, isn't it? That looks great. All right, look. Here's the part where I'm taping, I'm gluing, I'm clamping these 2 leg pieces along the long 45-degree angle. And before you ask, yes, attempt number 4. The first 3, not exactly my finest work. It turned out to be a runaway glue geometry problem. But hey, by round 4, I finally had the system down. Tape it, glue it, clamp it, pray a little, and suddenly it actually works. Nothing like learning and figuring out as I go along. And just to really show my confidence in myself, my woodworking skills, and modern adhesive technology, I went ahead and nailed it all together anyway, because nothing really says trust issues like ignoring all the glue you just used. Time to square up the ends of these legs in the miter saw. I got the stop block set up nice and precise. Boom, right there, one clean edge. But then on the other side, I need to shave off just a little bit more than the amount of respect I got in my high school shop class. Now, I'm sure some old guy thought of this way before I did, but I'm going to go ahead and sell it like it's my idea anyway. Playing cards. I used 3 of them. 10 cards is about 1/8 of an inch, so 3 cards, I don't know. You do the math in here. Basically, less than a 1/16, more than nothing. Now I'm marking 3 inches down from the top of each leg. That's the width of the boards that tie the legs together, so these marks are actually kind of important. Then I've got to mark 2 inches in from each side of the leg to lay out the taper. And instead of, just measuring 2 inches like a normal person, I'm using a 2-inch jig that I made, because apparently measuring 2 inches is too stressful, or I'm just too lazy. Probably both. A couple of quick marks, connect the dots, and boom, taper lines. Easy peasy. All right, so in this episode of Make It Up As I Go Along, I think I should have cut the taper on the leg when it was a board, right? This way, I would have had 2 boards cut with a taper, and I could have glued them together at the 90 degrees then. But I didn't do that. So I gotta figure out a way to cut the taper on these legs now. I don't know what to do. You wait here. I'm gonna go think about it. Hi, YouTube. I set up a tapering jig. I have no idea if this is gonna work. So let's videotape and see what happens. Huh? Look at that. Right on the line, huh? All right. See what else we can figure out. And I made a shim. Hey guys, you just saw me cut these sweet tapers on these legs, at least half of them, right? So I think all I have to do is take the table fence and put it to the other side of the table saw, and I should be able to set it up perfect again and just do the other side. But I got a problem. The taper on the leg started way too early and kind of tapered the top 3 inches that you saw me measure out for the cross member, right? So now I kind of got this number. You see what I mean? So I'm not really sure how I'm going to fix it. It might be a fix on a table saw and square up that one side so it matches up perfect. or maybe the cross member has to go behind like so and kind of give it some extra texture or something. I don't know, but let's do the other side of the taper, solve one problem at a time. All right, so you can see here, I moved the fence from this side to the other side of the table saw blade, and I took the measurement that it was here, and I just measured on the other side. Seems like it should work. All right, so come here, look. This is how I'm going to fix this. I need a line that's going to go from my 3-inch mark right here. I need to go straight back up to the top. So I'll just use my square right here. Right there's the line I want, straight up to the top. Now I'm just going to go ahead and extend that line to where I can see it on my table saw, and that's the part I'm going to cut out. Easy peasy. Let's go check it out. All right, so look, all I did was straighten off that edge, and now look how my cross member fits nice and flat. That was the perfect solution, guys. Perfect. So look at this little bit of measuring magic right here. I got the 2 legs clamped together and the cross member laid crossways from there. Instead of doing actual math, because, well, math, right? I just measured a grand total of 58 inches across the whole setup over there, and none of that big math stuff like subtraction. Same logic here for the measuring thing, except the grand total's 10 inches. Figured I'd work on the benchtop while that Bondo dries. Here's something you never see in my videos. Me sanding. But since we're here, please direct your attention to the stars of the show. My Saw Stallions. Just a little reminder that I built those in the last video. You know, in case you missed it and wanted to watch it after this video. No pressure, but go watch it anyway. Here I'm squaring up the benchtop and cutting it down to its final size. 12 inches wide, 60 inches long. Big fancy numbers for a guy who uses a jig that measures 2 inches and did everything he could to avoid doing subtraction earlier. I started flattening one side with the router sled. Yeah, I got a video for that too, since you asked. Once that side's flat, the other face goes through the wood shaver to get cleaned up. Hopefully no snipe today. Hey guys, a couple weeks ago I made a video about being commissioned to sell a bench. And the commentary in that video was more or less my version of the no, you can do it, just get started kind of thing, right? And I made a comment about how I often make more firewood than I do furniture. So today, for absolutely no reason, I'm almost done with this bench. We're down to finishing work. I'm going to grab my router and put a round over on all of the edges, just for practice. And when I'm done, it might be ruined and it might be firewood. See how that works out. All right, friends, look, you've seen me spray with a paint sprayer before. One time it was okay. The next time it was horrible. Like I ruined the piece of furniture. I had to go and sand it and brush paint the whole thing over again. But hey, that Home Right Finish Max Super Paint Sprayer, that thing worked great. I am not sponsored. I am not getting $1 for this. But I'm going to tell you right now, as far as spraying, it's super easy, way easy to set up. It doesn't seem as sensitive to the paint thinning. And I went through the vertical, horizontal, and circular sprays on that bench you just saw me do. It was great. It was absolutely great. If you're interested in a paint sprayer, I highly recommend it. It just made me look like I know how to spray paint. All right, guys, we're at the end of another woodworking video. We finished the bench up. Look, I'm sitting on it. It works. It does bench stuff. And this time what I did is I made plans, like build plans for this bench, and I put the link in the description down below. I don't have a website. I don't have an Etsy store. I don't have e-commerce of any kind. But what I would like you to do, if you go ahead and download those plans, would you go ahead and just put something in the comments? Let me know you downloaded them and go build it. Send me pictures, push on Facebook Marketplace, sell it, all that kind of stuff. But I would like to know if you download the plans or not to see if this is a viable option or something I could add to the videos, maybe add to your experience in building stuff. But other than that, guys, we're done another project. I'm going to go ahead and take pictures and post on a Facebook Marketplace for myself. I'll let you know when it sells. But other than that, let's keep this YouTube channel rolling. Out. Thanks, guys.